What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the another episode of Life Insurance Telesales Mastery Podcast. I'm your host, Johnny Nidafan, and we got Austin Mitchell as our co-host. What's going on, dude?
What's up, bro? Glad to be here.
Let's go, dude. We've been having a crazy day with tons of well, I've had a crazy day. Helping out insurance agents, uh just pretty much get a game plan going to have a massive month ahead. We're ending this first quarter and really stepping into the second quarter, dude. Which is huge, right? So it's been cool to be able to get around people who uh or get help and help other agents really scale their businesses. I mean 20, 30, 40, $50,000 a month. I had some game plans which was really cool, with agents wanting to hit $50,000 this month, right? They hit their biggest
That's
goal of
massive.
30,000. They're like, dude, I want to take it to the next level. How do I do 40 or 50,000? And so it's cool because we literally have, and I'm creating this as we speak, but I have this tracker to be able to figure out, okay, this is your goal. How many policies, leads, commissions, like, well, everything that you need so that you can just go out and actually accomplish your goal, man. So it's been a dope day being able to help a ton of agents really do that. But what you been up to, man?
Nothing, dude. We ran a few training calls today, helped out a few agents, focused in on objection handling, man, really hammered that down. Had some good calls, dude, a lot of good feedback. I think we helped out a lot of people. But yeah, dude, I mean, today what are we talking about? How to get around the right people,
Yeah, man. So
right
today,
community.
in this episode, guys, we're gonna be talking about, okay, how do you actually surround yourself with the right people? What's the importance of it? How do you find the right people to get around? If you don't feel like you're around the right people, how do you kind of step away from them and build boundaries so that you can obviously like have friends and family, but then also like how do you really level up your business, your personal life, and all that, right? There's a saying, it sounds super corny, but your network is your net worth, and it's really true. It's time and time and time again. Like you're not going to rise to the level of your potential. You're going to follow your systems and standards. So the
Yeah.
question is like, what are your standards? What are your systems? What are the things that you have in place to be able to be successful, even when you don't feel like you're at that spot?
Yeah, dude, that's massive. That's massive. Um, one of the things like that was definitely a big like wake up moment in my business for sure was just getting around the right people. And that can be a problem, dude, when you're doing like telesales. It's different when you're in home and like you're connecting, you're out and about. Like, dude, it's easy to get, down on yourself or whatever whenever you're just sitting alone in an office and just dialing the phone every day. So being able to connect with other top producers and being in a community or an agency full of people that are, vibrant and connecting, really helps out like morale whenever you're in
Mhm.
this business. Um,
Yeah, we've
start
had
off.
some good conversations about that, like with some top producers in the
Yeah,
community, like what the importance of it is, how like they've really seen growth. And I think that's what really inspired us to make this like podcast for you guys and really dive deep into this, like how like the importance of getting around the right people. Um, I don't know. I felt like I've been around groups and agencies where I felt like I was number one. And as a top producer, it's like, dude, I don't want to ever feel that way. Like, obviously, I want that number one spot, but I don't want to feel like it's easy. I want it to feel like I'm getting pushed consistently.
yeah.
I want to be like, dude, there's got to be some healthy competition. Like, okay, how do I get to the top of the leaderboards? Obviously, everybody's doing the right thing, but how do I get to the top? How do I sell the most policies? How do I um help the most amount of families, have the biggest impact? Like, how do I do all these things? And it's really surrounding yourself with the right community, the people who are self-motivated. I think that's one characteristic that people have. What are some other characteristics that you think that the people that do produce at a high level, like what do they have, and what do you look for in terms of like finding the right people?
Well, dude, number one is consistency. That's like my favorite thing ever. I don't care if it's in the insurance business or not. If they're consistent with anything, that plays into business a ton. Because when
Yep.
it comes down to it, man, and you're actually hitting the phones, you have to be consistent every week, every single day, and running into it. And then the next thing is, dude, they're just curious. Like they're always asking questions. Even if they're a top producer, like they're always asking, like, how can I get better? How can I do this better? What can I learn to increase my business? Those are two things that I really look for, like coachability and consistency with an agent. Um, but dude, I wanted to touch on like, we're talking about community today and we're talking about being around the right people. That's something that immediately switched my business, right? When I
Mm-hmm.
got into an agency that had a group of people that were hungry, dude, there was healthy competition, like everybody was crushing it, and I had people on my butt. Like, if I was at 10,000, they were at 9,000 or they were at 9,500. Like it was, within a policy, dude, like
Yeah.
that I could be passed up and it could be quick. And so you always had to be on your A game. But it's being around people that wanted to help, right?
Yeah.
Even whenever we started working together, right? Like I was always trying to chase you. And but there was like it was a healthy competition, but it was always, even though it's a competition, you're willing to help.
Yeah.
Like you helped me a lot in my business. I helped a lot of other people. Um, and it's just it's having the camaraderie
Yeah.
that
I
brings
think one
together.
thing that you want to really find in a community is a room full of givers. I've been around like people that have been takers, people that are just there to be able to feed themselves, be
Yeah.
selfish, and really not sharing information, right? And so I think like when you're looking for a community of agents, right, people who are wanting to get to 20, 30, 40, 50, $100,000 a month, you want to get around people that it can be truly become a mastermind. I love the phrase mastermind because it's like everybody, how I look at it is like everybody putting their heads together to solve problems as fast as possible. And it's called a mastermind because it's one mind, everybody thinking the same and really trying to grow and scale as fast as humanly possible. And I think like that's what we've culminated, but like and really created, but it wasn't always like that. And so if you guys are wanting to find an agency, or have a team that really helps you, got to find people who are willing to give. And because the reality is it's when you're just starting, you're like a little baby. Is like
You need
you're gonna need a lot of work. There's a lot of steps that you need to go through: contracting, leads, what leads to work. Like you're gonna have so many questions if you're doing it the right way and successful. But you got to be willing to get around people that are willing to answer your calls, that are willing to answer your text messages, that are actually going to respond to you, because you're going to have a ton of questions, and that's the only way that you learn.
yeah, and not getting frustrated. I mean, there's been times where like they'll help, but they're not happy about it. Yeah. Like they're not coming from a good spirit with the help. Like they're giving the help, but it doesn't come off the same way, or you don't take that input, you know, well, if it's not coming off in the right spirit. So, if they're unhappy to help you, but they're still helping you, it's like, are you really getting help at that point? So
Yeah, it's
that's
taking it
definitely one
one
of the
degree
things.
further, right? Obviously, you want to do as much as you can, but there is another level to it that you're getting met with kind, caring, compassionate people that actually care about you, care about helping you, and really wanting to see you succeed.
Yeah. I mean, what's your experience with that? I mean, whenever you first joined the industry, obviously you weren't around the right community, you weren't around the right people. When did that take like a turn in your business? What was your first experience like getting around the right people?
Well, I had to find it, right? Like the way that I really went out and about it, like, dude, I spent like 5 to 10 grand on like finding the right people, getting in the right rooms. I remember it's funny because I actually was talking to Cody earlier today, and I remember my first ever big investment was with Cody. And him and I were talking today. I was like, bro, I remember that time when I was like, I didn't have any money, and my biggest purchase was my car, which was 5 grand, and I dropped 2,500 bucks on it. And I was like, dude, what the heck? But one thing that really sold me was the ability to get around people that were making over $1 million a year and being able to
Yeah.
ask them questions. One thing that I've never been shy and afraid of is the moment. Never been afraid of going up to somebody and asking somebody questions. Like, dude, you're super successful. How'd you do it? Like,
Yeah.
you being in your shoes right now, what would your advice be so that I can get to that next level? How do I take what you've done and how do I do it faster? How do I even do it? How do I replicate it? So like it was really getting around people who, one, were willing to give the information, but you also, a lot of times you got to pay for it. Like there's nothing free nowadays, which is I mean, we have a free community that we're about to launch here soon, but dude, like that's one thing that's like you sometimes you just got to pay for it and it's so worth it because whenever I spend money, it comes back 10 times faster than I put it out. Which is
Yeah.
huge. Um
Yeah, and
so
I mean,
that's
guys,
obvious. Yeah, go ahead.
if you don't have the money to spend on it, man, and like you're not invested with an agency yet, like get with an agent, especially if you're doing telesales, get with an agency that has a live dial room
Yeah.
and you ask to join it beforehand, like before you join the agency, like see what the vibe is in there. Sit in, listen to some people do some presentations, like see what that vibe is. See if people are giving back good feedback, if they're honest with their intentions, and what that really looks like, because those are the people that are going to help you the most.
Mhm.
I'm a massive, massive fan of like live dial rooms.
Yeah.
There's no better time to get feedback than right after a presentation. And sending recordings to uplines, man, like that, it is a good way to do it. But like, dude, if that upline has 50 or 100 agents underneath of them, I mean, dude, they don't have time to watch 100 hours of presentations a day or listen to that much audio. So being able to be on Zoom and listening to somebody give a presentation live, really gives good feedback. Really gives good feedback.
Yeah, and it's good accountability. I think that's another thing inside like having a community. I mean, I'm just gonna look up the definition of community right now. Like, what is the actual definition? And let's see here. It says a group of people living or having a or living in the same place or having a particular characteristic in common. And so it was funny because I don't know if I talked about this, but like I was listening to this what I just
Get it
completely
out.
I just completely blanked on it.
Uh,
So, in terms of a community, right? A group of people living in the same place having a particular characteristic, right? A school's a good community. School's a good example of a community, right? There's people that are having fun. Like I think that's another characteristic of having a community is having fun, but accountability is huge. Accountability is everything, and so that's why we actually have people posting their numbers every single day inside of the community, so that one people can actually cheer each other up, be excited for them. Like if they are having massive wins, but also like really bring you up. Um,
and when you're having a bad day, man, the community is there for you. When you
yeah,
when
it's
you
it's a
bomb
give
a
culture.
presentation, man, you have people there to pick you up.
Yeah, because whatever comes around goes around, right? If you're giving to the community, one thing like whenever I've gone into a community, like I've always wanted to give as much value as humanly possible when I can, and when I'm kind of the expert, because I knew, and the goal was if I ever needed something that that I would have a bunch of UOMIs to be like, dude, I need help with this ASAP. And there's like 10 people already responding quick. Like I want to be able to give goodwill. And I think that's a way that you are if you find a good community, it's rare. Um, but you want to be a giver in that. You want to be like giving way more than anybody else does. And I think of like the way that you give is being willing to give your time, give your energy, give your effort, give your focus. And it's crazy how much little work will go a long way because people don't have like the intentionality nowadays, I feel like.
Yeah, no, that's huge. And man, whenever we actually got involved in like a good community, and even the one we're you know working now, it's dude, it massively impacts your business. Like if you're sitting there with other top producers all day long and you get into that funk where, hey, dude, maybe you're on Facebook for 30 minutes, like people can tell if you're not dialing the phone.
Yeah.
Like it's part of the accountability.
It's a blessing
And
and a curse.
yeah, yeah, it's like, man, they really do hold you accountable. And so having other people there that can hold you accountable and make sure you're dialing the phone, make sure you're up to date on your presentations, like that was massive for me, I know. Like especially like when me and you first started just live dialing on Zoom every single day, dude, we never let each other slack,
Hmm.
you know. If somebody's got to go take a piss, like they better be back in like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like it's or else if somebody's getting texted, dude, where are you at, bro? We got to hit these phones.
Yeah.
And it's having those like-minded people around you that can hold you accountable and push you to hit your goals. and, ask where you're at for the month and, give you the good feedback.
Yeah.
That was probably, looking back on it now, one of the biggest things that helped me get to 20K a month.
Yeah, and it's cool because I knew that 100% of the time I wasn't going to be on. Usually I'm on like 95% of the time, like ready to rock and roll, ready to go. But there's 5% of the time where I just needed to pick me up. And I think like you came in, Max came in. There's different people that came through and was like, I knew you guys would show up. And that's what made me want to show up. And I think like having the accountability, having the excitement, having the culture, I think that's another thing, part of the community, having a culture of, dude, I'm not going to take it. Because what's interesting is when you get in the world of entrepreneurship, that's one world inside the whole thing. And it's you I kind of like relate it to feeling like an alien. Like honestly, like feeling like a completely nobody understands me and nobody like gets me. And so like even being able to like listen to different podcasts and be able to be like, "Oh dude, did you listen to this podcast? Did you listen to that? Did you
Yeah.
see this happen?" And it's like all based on this game that we create. And I think that's all part of the gamification of it. Like it's fun. And
Yeah.
that's what's cool about it. It doesn't feel like work because we've made it fun. We've
Yeah.
made
It's fun. It's
working fun.
being
And
around a group of friends.
that's what makes more money is just us going and being like, dude, this is actually really fun. I actually really enjoy
Yeah.
it.
It wasn't a dread to hop on every day and live dial.
Yeah.
It was something that we enjoyed 24/7. And, like you said, I mean, entrepreneurship is a whole different world in its own game. And it's a world full of excuses, man. It's so easy to make excuses 24/7. And having that community behind you, I mean, shout out to Nate Offer. Like, I seen him post a reel the other day talking about how big's the bag you're carrying around. Like, how big is the bag of excuses that you're just carrying around every day? Like, you got to empty the bag, man. And
Yeah.
that really resonated, man, because it's true. If you say like, you know, if like we gave each other excuse, just for example, like, yeah, man, I got to go run down to the store real quick, or like, for what, bro? Like, what are you going to the store for? Oh, I need to go like pick up some groceries. It's like, do you need to do that at noon? Like, dude, you're just getting an excuse to get off the phone. You're just tired of dialing the phone. Like, I don't care. Get back on the phones, dude. Like, it's time to make money.
Not letting you go.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, not letting you, it's not reinforcing those bad decisions. It's not like, oh, yeah, I got to run to the store. And it's like, all right, cool. See you in 30 minutes. It's
Yeah.
like, nah, dude, do it later, bro. Do it later. Uh,
But I think another part of the community is having people around that will hold you accountable, but not only that, one with your best intentions in mind. A lot of people have selfish intentions with it, but like, dude,
yeah,
having people that are gonna do that with your best self-interest in mind, like that's really the goal. And also like having common interests, which is dope. Doing that and growing a ton. I think it makes the more friction and the more friends that you can create, like the more friends and fun that you can create in this business and the more connections that you create gives you a bigger friction to actually leave the industry and actually fail out. Like I think there was a time that I was thinking about failing out and I'm like, dude, I have like this is my life. Like I don't know
yeah,
if I could give that up. And that's what really kept me going when I was not feeling like I wanted to
yeah,
anymore. Like it really
yeah.
was.
Being around the people that, dude, and yeah, I just got to touch, man. Like, I felt on that so many times. It's like, when your best friends are like in the industry, man, they're not going to let you fail in the first place. Um, but being around, like you said, you touched on, like, they have your best interest at heart. Like, you don't want to be in a community that's like, if you do give the excuse, hey man, I want to go to a grocery store, it's like there is people out there would be like, yeah, dude, go ahead. Like, I'll see you back here in 30 minutes because they just want to beat you.
Yep.
Like, they just want to beat you. And they don't care if you don't hit your goals that month.
Yeah.
Like, you want to be with people that tell you to stay, but still want to beat you. Like, it's a healthy competition. It's a friendship. And they either way, if they want to beat you, they still want to see you win.
Yeah. Like I always wanted to beat you, but I always wanted you to be good too.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, dude, dude, I don't know what else to touch on, but
Yeah, I mean that's it, right? Like having people that are going to be in your corner day in and day out, whatever it is, you get supporters, you get people that are in your corner that are going to fight no matter what. They're going to fight for your success no matter what. And go and be a, like, I just can't stress enough, be a giver. Like, how, like, when you get into these places, that's how you create a good community member. Like, to be to for it to come back to you, you got to be giving value. You got to be helping other
Yeah.
people when they're struggling. You got to be helping other people when they fall. And then also what's cool is, like, when I felt down and I see you doing a presentation, like when I feel like I'm losing hope, or I felt that in the past, I'm like, dude, he's closing a deal right now. I just got to find my deal. And so
Yeah.
it creates a bond with the people of, like, dude, all you got to do is just keep working, keep dialing, take the emotions out of it. Um,
And there's people there to deal with those problems. Like, dude, I won't lie, if there hasn't been times where it's like, you get crushed in a presentation, we're all busy dialing, but you can see the look on somebody's face that, like, they're not in the right headspace to be hitting the phone. And so you guys can talk through that real quick. Dude, it's just a presentation. Like, it was just one person. Move on to the next one. You have 300 other leads in your CRM that need called. Somebody needs your help. And so
yeah.
it's having people there in those times of need that can help you work through those things. But guys, just try it out. Try to get in a room full of people that are going to help you succeed.
Hmm.
And if you guys don't see that benefit your business, then maybe you shouldn't be in the industry. Like, honestly, because yeah, I mean, if that doesn't help you guys out, man, you're probably not putting in the right effort anyway. Um, this just to be real, just to be real. I've never
Yeah.
met somebody that was like, dude, it's so much better being a solo soldier all the time. Like, I love being alone, sitting in my room, just like dialing the phone, and like I don't like
Yeah.
sharing my wins with nobody. I don't like anybody cheering me on or like helping me through a bad day. I hate all of that.
Yeah.
If that's you, dude, you probably shouldn't be in the insurance industry because you have to talk to people all the time, and it sounds like
Yeah.
you're extra introverted.
No, it's true. It's
Yeah, it is.
100% true. And the cool thing is, like, if you want to go fast, go long. Like, just do it yourself. And I tried to do that so many times, but then, like, when I really wanted to go far, I had to surround myself with like-minded people to be able to get to that next level. And I keep saying that, but really, like, push me to the best that I can possibly be. Right? Getting around people who are gonna pull the best out of you. I think that's another really key component of this whole
Yeah,
equation, is getting around people that are gonna pull it out. Like, I just think of me, you, and Elijah, and it's like, that's a mastermind. Like, whenever there's a problem, there's no excuses. There's no time for excuses. We got to solve problems. We got to figure out how are we going to move really quick, and that comes with getting around A players. I mean, that's another thing too. Like, not everybody's built for the business, and so if you can get what here's one thing that I've learned, and actually it's funny because Elijah told me this one time. He's like, it's very rare you'll find an A player who's a giver, but when you find that person, when you find those types of people, you got to give and give and give and give, because it becomes a game where it's like, it's like hot potato. It's like, if you get around somebody that's an A player, they're giving to you and you feel bad. So because you're an A player that's a giver, you're like, okay, I give it back. And so you guys continue leveling up over and over and over again. And I think that's how our relationship started. That's how Elijah and I's relationship started. That's how, like, a lot of the relationships that I have started, because I was like, oh, you did me a favor, bro. What can I do for you? And then
yeah,
then it's like, okay, I do you a favor. It's like, okay, what can I do for you? And it's just thinking through those things. Um, and it's super powerful because they're few and far between. And so if you can, like, find a place that there's tons of A players, that there's tons of people who get it, who understand it, who understand the game of business, who understand. Here's another
yeah,
thing: to understand the sacrifices required. Understanding, like, dude, you got to put your emotions to the side. You have to sacrifice time with family sometimes. You just have to do it to get what's needed and what's required done.
yeah. And they
Like,
can hold you accountable to that, man. It's like, those times, like, even whenever, like, say you're sacrificing time with family or you can't, go out with your wife, whatever that really looks like, man, you guys can talk through that. Once the job's done, man, and like you're down on it or whatever, maybe you don't want to do it and they know you need to. It's like you have somebody to push you forward. The power of
mhm,
just having a running buddy, man. in a community.
You got to have a
It's
running buddy. You got to have somebody that's going through the fight with you, that understands your pain, and also getting around somebody that's gone through it and understands the other side, that sees the other
yeah,
side. And I think that one of the another thing that's powerful within a community is having like is seeing the blind spots, is seeing
yep.
things that you don't see. And what I mean is dude, I wish you saw yourself the way I see you. I wish you saw the greatness that I see within you. I wish you saw how good you actually are on the phone. I wish you understood that. I wish you felt that. I wish you had that confidence knowing that you can close anybody, that you have tremendous sales ability, that you are a dog. I was talking to somebody and I was like, why are you feeling nervous again? Why are you feeling self-confident again? Like, or not self-confident? Like, what's lacking, bro? Your acquisition cost is at $85. Dude, you're at a 15x ROI. Like, what are you stressing about? He's closing like at a really high clip. I'm like, dude, you are a dog. You got
Yeah.
19 leads and you closed 7 apps from them. Like, what are you worrying about, bro? You are a savage. And I think that's what you get with the community. That's what you get with somebody like, okay, let's look at your numbers. Let's actually figure out what's going on here. And seeing that, a lot of times emotions can get into the business, but then when you get somebody outside looking in, you're like, dude, you have a multi six-figure opportunity right here. I remember when I was told you have a 7-figure opportunity, and I was like, what are you seeing that I'm not? I don't even see this right now.
Yeah,
20, 30,
yeah,
$40,000 a month. And it's like, dude, you have a 7 to 8 figure opportunity sitting on your lap. Are you going to take it? I was like, of course I am, but I don't even know what you're talking about. And so getting around people that are going to see the blind spots, that are going to allow you to see roadblocks and be like, dude, you gotta move past that. And that's part of the mentorship too. But I think community really will bring that as well.
yeah. Outside perspective, man. Because those blind spots, you can be given presentations all day and think you're doing a wonderful job, but you could be bombing them. You could be saying one or two things the wrong way that are interpreting like your message wrong to the client.
Yeah.
Having that outside perspective, man, have an outside perspective on your numbers that you're at for the month, all that. I mean, it's huge. It's huge. Because there's been plenty of times too where like, dude, I thought I'm giving a good presentation, and you get a reality check real quick when somebody's like, dude, why are you saying that? Like, are you
Yeah.
dumb? Like, what, like, why did you change the script? Why did you change what worked?
Yeah.
Uh, and sometimes it's hard to see it when you're face deep in it. You may
Yeah.
do something that you think is better, but it's not. And you need that outside perspective to check you, put you back in your place, and keep you running again.
Yeah. 100%. Well, that's the power of the community, right? You got to have people around you to be able to see the best in you, get to the next level, see your full potential, be able to get to the best person that you personally are. And so that's really it. That's all that we got for the podcast. If you haven't already, subscribe down below, share this with a friend if you found it valuable. Follow us right on all of our socials. We got Instagram, YouTube, we got all these different platforms. Subscribe to us, follow us on our journey. Follow us as we give more value so that you guys can succeed selling life insurance, that you guys can absolutely crush it, as you guys are doing it right now. Is there anything else you want to say, dude?
No, man, that's pretty much it. But if you don't believe us, try it. See the results. Can't hurt if you're already in a low spot.
Let's go. Try it and you'll like it. I guarantee it. All right. I'll see you guys in the next one. Subscribe right now. See you in the next video.
Later.
Peace.